And now for something completely different. Well, that just reveals my age. Maybe not completely different, somewhat different. The program to London is the longest running DWSB program, and perhaps the longest running program, short-term abroad program at GW. We've been going to London since 2001. However, London in 2017 is going to be a bit different. And London in 2016, I see we have one of our 2016 London members, was a bit different because of Brexit. So Brexit is, the UK is in the process of a divorce from the European Union, which should make it an especially interesting place to go. It's a practical matter. It's a cheaper place to go than it usually is. The big disadvantage of London, besides the fact that it doesn't have the nice beaches and tree houses and other places that we've just heard about, is London's frightfully expensive. And we do our best to keep costs down, and we should have a lot easier time. In the past few years, the exchange rate has ranged from a pound being $1.45 to $1.70, and right now a pound's $1.20. And so that makes a huge difference in terms of the cost of living. The program is 6 credits, which I guess it must say in there, and we meet for the whole summer 10-week semester. So this is more of a traditional program. It's much more integrated with the rest of the courses that we do. And so we spend a lot of time talking about issues that are related to privatization, state ownership, and public-private partnerships, bring in concepts from other courses in our programs, and then try to give something back to other courses in our programs. The other thing is we're not just abroad to help other people. Helping other people is great, and I'd love to go on the Havana program myself, except that I get hot, humid weather, and London's nice and cool in the summer. But we're also trying to bring back things to help ourselves. And there's a couple of dimensions to that. One is we go during the middle of the program. So we start in late May, we go in mid-June, and we go to mid-July. That's a 10-week summer session. Once a week on campus in the evening. It's designed, because we only go for a week, it's designed for people who are doing internships or who are working full-time. If you're working full-time, to take classes in the evening during the academic year, this is more or less the same schedule. The idea is that the UK is a country that in some ways is much more similar to the US than the other countries that our trips go to, and hopefully some of the things that we can learn by talking to people in the UK about how they deal with similar problems, we can bring back to the US to help us think about our own problems, and as President Trump might say, we got other problems. And so one of the things we do is we look at different sectors where the interaction between the public sector and the private sector is a major part of the sector. And so think of, for example, healthcare, which is currently in turmoil in the United States. The British system for the last 60, 70 years has been healthcare is in the state sector. When you heard a lot in various campaigns about state provision of healthcare is good, state provision of that. So let's just talk to people who are involved in the National Health Service, who are on the board of the National Health Service, talk about what the British experience has been with healthcare and what their view is of the American experience. We also do defense, which is a very big industry in Washington and also in the UK, and which the UK has had a lot of innovative input from the private sector in the attempt to try to get some of the best of both worlds. The integration with our course on campus is we study things like what's the difference between having a service or good produced by a state company or a private company. And there's lots of examples of it. In the United States, we don't have as much experience as the UK does with things in the state sector. We've had more of a private sector experience in the US, but the UK has in some sense outflanked us by moving some things to the private sector that the US has always had in the public sector. And so, for example, in the US, the post office is a state enterprise. It's probably our best known state enterprise. The post office is 100% owned by the people of the United States or the Transportation Department. We'll talk about what that means. In the UK, the Royal Mail was privatized. Does it make a difference? In the US, we have a interesting passenger rail service run by Amtrak. And when we do our on-campus part of the course, we've had a high official from Amtrak come and talk about the benefits of being in the state sector. The UK rail sector is completely private. There's no state operation of interested in passenger rail at all. Does it make a difference? And we do sort of traditional type readings and talk to people about, in theory and practice, what's the difference between state ownership and public ownership, state ownership and private ownership? Does it matter? And if it matters, how does it matter? You think of a city that has transportation mixed with state and private ownership, think of, say, Washington, D.C. Metrobus is 100% state-owned, and when you think Metrobus is great or terrible, it's all owned by the District of Columbia. The Georgetown Circulator is a private bus. It doesn't say on it, private bus. You take the Georgetown Circulator, maybe you'll notice that the Georgetown Circulator is a little bit different from, say, maybe won't, and maybe is, maybe isn't. That's sort of an empirical question and a theoretical question. So we focus this course much more on concepts, trying to relate concepts from class to the real world. We have a sort of book learning part on campus, and then we have a street learning part in the UK. And we encourage people, when they're in the UK, to get out and talk to people in the UK. A difference between, will you give me a 30-second warning? Difference? 30 seconds. Okay. The big difference is when we're in the UK, we don't do projects. The projects are done here. So when we want to be out talking to people, we're not surveying people or practicing our presentation. Presentations are back here. So that we use the part of the UK time that you are not on our visits to go out drinking or talking to people or go to cultural activities, and we have some scheduled cultural activities. I brought a couple-page handout, which I'll put out on the desk, that sort of shows a sample itinerary, which we don't have time to talk about. We spend most of our time in London, but we hire a coach, and we go out to the countryside for a couple site visits. We've gone to the University of Cambridge, one of the oldest universities in the world, to hear from a kind of a world-renowned, something who has a knighthood, to talk about British experience with privatization of electricity. We'll go to a British military base to talk about privatization in the Ministry of Defense. The last thing that's different about this course, this is the only cross-listed course. This course is cross-listed, which means it's not only a GWSB course, it's also a course in the Trachtenberg School. The idea is that we're going to study the public-private interface. You ought to be interfacing with people studying public and private management. This course has always had a mixture of GWSB students, primarily MBA and MSGC, with Elliott School of MA and Trachtenberg School of MBA. So it's different in a variety of ways. If you're looking for beaches, or if you're looking eating in people's homes, don't come to London. But we do go to Parliament. So if you want to have a nice meal inside Parliament, we had a great class. Thanks.